There's no doubt that Mongraal and Bugha are both remarkably talented players. Ever since exploding into the Fortnite scene, man, these guys have developed fame, found terrific success, and have managed to hold into their positions at the very top. Both these guys have highly effective playstyles and possess unbelievable amounts of skill. So, unsurprisingly, anytime the grades are brought up, you're gonna hear their names. What's going on, guys? It's the Motivation Guy. That's right, your friend, the one and only Keith Allen, here to inspire you yet again to be great. Do not settle for ordinary. Be extraordinary, because that's who you are. There's greatness on the inside of you waiting to come out. So connect with me on my Instagram as soon as you hear this, okay? Because it is going down when I connect with you, all right? So today, I'm bringing you another comparison video. This time, we're gonna be squaring off FaZe Clan's Mongraal against Team Sentinel's Bugha. To decide who's better, I'm gonna be going through 5 different categories: mechanics, solo play, team play, game sense, and you already know, the clutch factor. We're gonna be handing out between 1 to 10 ProGuides points per group to each player for their overall skill and impressiveness. And toward the end, we're gonna tally all these results together to find out who's superior, Mongraal or Bugha. Of course, you know, we love to hear your thoughts, all right? So feel free to drop your answer as to who you think wins this match down below. And just before we start, ProGuides.com, and we do have a secret for you guys, all right? That very soon, we're gonna be teaming up with some very amazing World Cup pro players to bring you guys exclusive top-tier content to help you better with your game. So sign up for our membership and prepare for it. We also have tons of new courses coming weekly and loads of VODs and content to help you guys improve. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to ProGuides.com. All right, guys, it's time to sit back, relax, and get my favorite candy. Come on now, what's my favorite candy? Say it out loud. There you go. That bunch of crunch, and let's get this going. Okay, so mechanics are up first. Who's the better builder? And what about aiming? Can't forget about that little important thing. Well, when it comes to building, Mongraal and Bugha are very similar to each other, both in skill level and style. Mongraal's one of those fast and flashy builders you have to watch at half speed just to follow along. You're like, what is he doing? He's very technical, and he seems to always be at the forefront when it comes to perfecting new techniques. You all know him for his box fighting skills, you know, rapid 90s, and some of the fastest tunneling out there. Bugha's building is pretty identical. He only differs ever so slightly, mainly that he seems more controlled than Mongraal. Pieces are placed more deliberately, and he knows how to make the building grid system work for him. Now, their aim is where we notice a little bit more of a difference. No doubt, Bugha's fantastic, he's great, I love him, but he seems to rarely miss a shotgun blast. If he weren't a top-tier aimer, he wouldn't even be where he is today. Same thing with Mongraal. His flicks are so on point, man, considering how quick they are when it comes to close-range firefights. Both these players are dominant forces. But, my friends, when it comes to long-range tracking, Mongraal seems to be a little bit, like, above Bugha. Not by a whole lot or anything like that, but Bugha's aim is cracked too, but he seems to have these rare off moments that come, you know, where he just whips shots he should have hit. And Mongraal's literally one of the sharpest shooters we've ever seen. Maybe it's his lower sensitivity, or maybe he just spends more time training in it. But either way, Mongraal's absolutely deadly with a rifle in his hands. We consider Mongraal and Bugha's building to be pretty much on the same level of effectiveness. And since Mongraal's got that superior tier aim, we're gonna end this category by giving Mongraal 10 points and Bugha 9. Okay, so this next category is solo play. How well do Mongraal and Bugha perform when left to their own devices? You can probably guess right now who's going to be at the top, but let's just go through it anyway. What we've noticed about Mongraal in recent solo events is that he shows no respect to his opponents. And we're not saying that in a negative way or anything like that, but what we mean is that he's not afraid to treat his opponents like they are like worse than him. He'll make crazy pushes and he'll take storm fights like it's no big deal because he knows he's going to get the kills. A massive part of being successful in solos, guys, has to do with mechanical skills. And as we just discussed, Mongraal has that in large quantities. So by treating his opponents like they're trash, which sucks, but to them anyway, he can go in with confidence and absolutely dumpster all over them. However, we have to note that Mongraal sometimes lets bad moments get to him a little bit. When he's chilling with his squad, he seems to play a lot more reasonably. But in solos, man, there's no doubt that his emotions sometimes gets the better of him. And that's understandable. I get it. Happens to me every time I play. Serious solo events are beyond frustrating, I get it. But being able to move past those annoying deaths and back to peak performance, that's a skill in itself that's just often undervalued. Now, Bugha, on the other hand, alright, obviously, we all know him from the World Cup, alright? He finished first during the first week of qualifiers to earn a spot, then went on to decisively win the entire thing. Since that moment, he's placed first in 2 online cash cups, second on 1 occasion, and has gotten a few more great results here and there. Why is Bugha so good in solos? That is the question. There's nothing we can point to exactly, he just sort of has the complete package. He rarely, if ever, tilts. Every decision he seems to make correctly. And so he's mechanically inclined and he can push for kills whenever he needs to. He was doing that a lot during the World Cup. He wasn't forcing any battles or anything like that, but when the situation was like really bad, he would manage to snag a kill or 2 and recover. The key here was patience. Bugha didn't ever overcommit for any kills. Even if his loadout was garbage, he still used what he had and only went in what he needed. And this patient playstyle worked wonders for this guy. So, we said you could probably guess who's coming in on top here, alright? You don't have to be a genius to get this one. Bugha, the solo World Cup guy, hasn't just fallen off, alright? His performance and gameplay are still unbelievable. We gotta give this one to him. 8 points for Mongraal and 10 for your guy, Bugha. Alright, so next, let's take a look at their team play. In contrast to solos, team-based modes require some specific skills to be successful, like excellent communication, proper positioning, and knowing how to execute plays with your team. So how do your boys do here? Well, neither of these guys are inexperienced when it comes to these skills. Mongraal's been playing competitive duels and squads since the very beginning, so he's been developing those crucial communication skills for the past 2 years. As of this point, his communication is magnificent. If any piece of information needs to be said, he's gonna bring it up and make sure everybody knows. Of course, he's rather hyper with his callouts, which some might see as distracting, but honestly, we think those crazy callouts can actually help by instilling confidence and keeping his team hyped up. And you know how I am with confidence. Confidence is everything, that's right. Mongraal also does a fantastic job of staying ready to help his team. When on the offensive, he plays off his teammates no matter what. Whether it's a split angle of attack or working side by side for structure control, Mongraal remains on point. And it's not too often you're gonna see him overextend or make a play that throws the game. No wonder his team dominated throughout the Season X Champion Series. Bugha's no newbie when it comes to team-based gameplay either, okay? Although he didn't qualify for the World Cup duels, and Mongraal did, he's been showing us in the FNCS ever since that he can still dish out when it's more than just him. There are 2 significant differences in how Bugha communicates over Mongraal. His tone, and B, the volume of info. Bugha will almost always stay calm and collected. It's impressive, even in moments where things aren't going his way. Because the last thing he wants is to annoy and distract his teammates. And if he thinks they need a piece of info, he doesn't hesitate. We were watching a qualifier match where he died a little early, but it didn't stop him from contributing. He was still conveying important information left and right to his team and, how they should rotate and where to watch out for enemies.
I'm good. You guys have a lot of mats. You guys both have 300 wood. We're in.
Okay.
You have shield?
Top.
Just give it up. That's height.
Okay.
It plays max distance.
That way.
Northeast.
There.
You guys can go to the right here. This is free.
Watch out for trap. I saw trap in here earlier.
I do have.
You need to drop. This is all second height. Nice. Focus on placement, Trev. Focus on placement.
All in all, man, Bugha and Mongraal both make excellent teammates. I'm sure most pros would jump at that chance to squad up with either of them. However, we noticed that Bugha has a slight tendency to sometimes to play situations like he's solo. He might overcommit to a flank or, go a little too deep in a fight or get even separated from his team. Only to a minor extent, though. Because of that, as well as all the other factors, we're giving Mongraal 8 points for team play and Bugha 7. Our next category, ladies and gentlemen, is game sense. How bright are Mongraal and Bugha when it comes to things like decision making? The meta game, and on the spot plays. In this area, what Mongraal seems to excel at is staying on top of the meta. Whenever there's a new technique or play style, man, he's one of the trailblazers. Like when people started doing the wall replay strat, where you put down some stairs and edit them for a better angle, no one else pushed that strat into prominence more than Mongraal did. So much so that people even now call it the Mongraal Classic. Or how about ramp phasing into boxes? Around the time it was first discovered, the technique was barely known by anybody. But once Mongraal used it to pick up kill after kill during the World Cup qualifiers, everyone and their neighbor was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. If there's a technique out there that exists, Mongraal knows it. He's always one of the first people to use them practically too, you know? Not only that, but his same repertoire allows him to react and outplay opponents that try a fast one on him. Now, when watching Bugha play, it doesn't take long to watch this guy put his big brain to use. It seems like he's always pulling out some super creative move or just making a play that most players wouldn't even think of. Like in this clip right here, and I mean like right here, last season, all right? Bugha's squad knows the enemy that they're eyeing is setting up a ramp for a low launch pad. So he waits, ready to knock it out. Once the ramp is placed, he destroys it, and his team proceeds to laser this dude right out of the sky. Or this play right here, where he dropped someone off the island with a shockwave. Fighting on the edge of the map was pretty unusual, so this isn't just some move he's seen before that he could just recall. So many thoughts need to be processed right here. Like realizing they're over the water, that he has shockwave grenades, and that he can use one to drop his opponent for a free kill, although up on the spot. Now, these are sort of just flashy high IQ moves, but there's a lot more to that to Bugha's game sense. At the highest level, like at the World Cup, his game sense won him more points than raw mechanics ever could. Knowing things like where to land, you know, like where to fight, and like even where to rotate were all such significant factors. This is another close one, guys. Real hard to decide on this one, but we're gonna give Mongraal 8 and Bugha 9. Since he's just a tiny bit more consistent with his decision making, Bugha's earning that extra point here. Lastly, we're going to talk about the clutch factor between the UK superstar and the North American champion. Who's better at pulling off those miraculous saves? If you looked up Mongraal's clutching on YouTube, oh my god, there'd be hours of impressive footage you have to watch. We can't count how many times Mongraal is left on his own endgame and somehow still manages to roll over everyone and win the match. It's almost like when there's added pressure, it just kicks him into overdrive. Of course, clutching is no easy task, my friends. For Mongraal, you know, to be so capable at it, the level of focus he needs is unreal. I think, you know, for us, the most extraordinary moment most of us have seen was during the Week 10 duo qualifiers. By himself, man, Mongraal was able to pick up 9 elims. It was just nuts. The way he singled out his opponents and took only the fight where he had the advantage is what separates Mongraal from the rest of us. All right, so you're asking yourself, so what about Bugha? Well, you can also consider him a clutch master as well. His quick thinking and insane mechanics allow him to pull off some pretty nutty stuff, bro. Even in moments that should be outright impossible to survive, Bugha's shown us time and time again that with enough skill, anything is winnable. If you need more proof that he can clutch, our favorite moment is when he won the October 3rd Champions Cash Cup. Bugha's first 7 games didn't really go too well. He got one pumped a few times, cycled by aggressive players, and even died off spawn in a couple of extremely unlucky ways. With 8 matches remaining, most other players would stand no chance of placing in the money, let alone taking first place. Something must have got to Bugha here. Maybe he just didn't want to be made a fool on stream, I really don't know. But something definitely clicked. Bugha went on to win the next 3 matches with ease, guys. After that, he finished second in 1. Then, a few games later, got another victory. When it was all said and done, Bugha took first place with 4 wins, more than anyone else got in the tournament. Considering this insanely rocky start, my goodness, the way he turned things around showed his viewers he's still the best. All right, so, you know, it's just really hard to say who should get the crown here. You know, honestly, we think Mongraal and Bugha are both equal when it comes to clutching things up. So, we're gonna give them both 9 points here. All right, guys, so the moment you guys been waiting on. So after tallying up their points, we've got Mongraal at 43, and we've got Bugha at 44. Holy moly, that was a close matchup for sure, guys. But in our opinion, Bugha's the better overall player by the tiniest margin. Again, you might disagree, so feel free to let us know your thoughts on the matter down below. All right, guys, once again, it's the motivation guy, your friend, the one and only Keith Allen, here signing off, man. But I want to tell you right now, once again, that I believe in you, that I am your #1 fan. Don't quit, don't surrender, keep going, keep persevering, be great, spread love to everyone you encounter, man, and this world's gonna change because of you. Connect with me on my Instagram. I would love to hear from you guys. And that's all for the comparison. We really hope that you had a pleasant time watching today. Remember to use code ProGuides in the item shop, as it really helps the team out. And let us know what you guys like to see next. We're committed to you guys to bring you quality daily Fortnite content. So if you enjoyed this one, give us a thumbs up and subscribe.